4 ways to detach in order to get back with your ex. This is what we're gonna cover in this video. We're gonna use attachment principles. I'm gonna use some extracts from the book Attach, which is a great book and I would highly recommend you to read it. I wish I was the one who published it because there's a lot of very interesting things that you can apply in your situation if you feel that you're avoidant and you dated an anxious, or if you're anxious and you dated an avoidant. You will find a lot of answers to your question, but if you don't want to read the book and want to know how to be more detached, listen to the following things. Jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So I'm not going to get into too much detail of this graph of the attachment principle because I will cover that in another video and also in my club. But what I want you to be able to answer, the questions I want you to be able to answer, is that what I want? Because there's an element of need. You see, you have some 2 circles where in the middle is the happy place. When the avoidant meets the anxious, you probably lived most of your relationship in this zone. And now, as you're drifting apart, an avoidant will be more prone to detach, to deactivate his attachment, which is something that we all have, deep need for attachment. And when you're anxious, you're activating this attachment and you want more and more of that. And so this is the problem when we trigger this kind of circle, this anxious avoidant trap. It's hard for us to see whether it's really what we want or whether you should fight or give up. Whether your ex is actually a good partner for you, because maybe he's a great person, but he's not a good person to date. You're not compatible in terms of attachment. You're not compatible because he's not willing or she's not willing to do some work, to put the work that you're probably doing right now, watching videos and learning about yourself, learning about attachment theory. So, being detached. And why it's so important? Because the attachment activation when you're avoidant will make your life harder than it should. Perhaps you have those restless nights. You can't sleep at night. You wake up in the middle of the night, or you struggle when you go to bed. You have this deep anxiety whenever you have some triggering moments in the morning, in the tube, when you commute, when you get back home, when you switch on Netflix. At any time, any point in time, you can be sort of driven into this anxiety mindset or anxiety sort of anxious sort of moments. Sorry, I'm losing my English. Eating disorder. So a lot of people, they eat too much or they lose appetite because it's really highly difficult to deal with because of this attachment, because you want to connect with that person who is actually rejecting you right now. Very important as well, if you want to get back with your ex, is when you are in this sort of zone, when basically you're not yourself. This is when you make mistakes and potentially ruin your chances. A lot of the time when people call me a bit too late, I realize that the reason they didn't get back with their ex, or the reason it's too late for me to help them, is because they let those sort of behavior, those sort of anxiety, those sort of fears drive their decisions, and that pushed their ex even further because they didn't manage to detach from their ex. First strategy, first technique is to list the bad things. So the objective here is to deactivate your attachment system. You know, you're very, very attached. Some people use the term codependency way more than it should be, but it's a form of codependency. And so the job here is to recall the bad moments in the relationship. Very often people, they put their ex on a pedestal, right? So the idea is to really try to challenge those thoughts and list the bad moments. And whenever you have this deep, these moments of negative memories or things like, I need to text him, I need to text her, he or she is so important, take a look at the list to calm down those anxiety. This way you will, as I said, knock him or her from the pedestal. It doesn't mean you should not get back with them. I'm not going to judge whether he or she is the right partner for you, but the idea is to really reduce the importance, the expectations. because that's what is driving the anxiety and the fear that you feel right now. Second technique is to being too close, being too dangerous. Have a look when you were together. This is more of a red flag, by the way. The dichotomy of he's or she's he's a nice guy. Let's say it's a guy. He's a nice guy, very social animal, very nice with people, very caring, but not with you. And there's an element, it's actually from the book Attached, where when you enter an inner circle of someone who's avoidant, you're either royalty or the enemy. So people who are very close to them, they can become enemy or royalty. Which one were you? Did you feel that he or she was treating you like royalty or like an enemy? If it's the latter, think twice whether you should or you should get back with him, or whether it's the right partner for you. Third one is having a strong support network. Open up to friends, discuss what you're going through, discuss anything you learn about attachment theory, for example, about this relationship. If you open up to people who are close to you, who care about you, they would want what's best and will tell you the truth. Some people might tell you, I've seen this, but I didn't want to say anything when you were together. And they will basically let you know what they're thinking about your ex. You can also get in touch with me, with anyone else. It doesn't have to be me, a therapist, a psychologist, to also help you unpack things, but in a more structured way. So the difference between a friend who's more of a confidant and when you speak with someone like me is that I'll be able to structure this thinking process, potentially helping you unpack things more clearly and getting to a solution into a secure place quicker. I wouldn't replace your best friend. We don't have the same role. So it's really finding the support network, and whether you feel you have enough support network and you have enough answers from your social circle, whether you have a therapist but you still need that sort of confidence. So try to find someone, a friend that you haven't talked in a while. Open up with someone that will make you feel better and detach from the situation. The idea is to take a lot of distance from this breakup, from you and your ex. And the fourth one is the pain is real. A lot of the time, male and female equally, people feel guilty that they are suffering from a breakup, and there's a bit of a stigma. Of course, you're never going to say to your boss, can I have a day off because my partner broke up with me. And at the same time, the pain is exactly the same as could be the same as losing a parent or losing someone important in your life. And so what will happen is friends sometimes will push you to forget, to stop feeling sorry, or to move on. And depending on what we're after, it's not exactly what we want to hear. We just want to be listened, right? So the thing is, don't deny the pain. The pain is real. It's okay to suffer because you're a human being and you should actually be blessed by that. Be kind to yourself and take care of yourself the same way you would break your arm or have a cold. You treat yourself the same way. So when you're cold, you give, some paracetamol, some honey with ginger or whatever you like to drink. It's the same way. If your mental well-being is not amazing, do things to pamper yourself. Treat yourself. It's an opportunity. You have more time for you. So, go and get a massage, go to the gym, do things pleasurable for you and for you only, and treat yourself like a prince or a princess. It's a rocky road. As you know, I would never tell you that getting back with an ex is easy. The idea is for you to learn every single day. Even if you make a tiny bit of progress, it's about the journey. Every day, if you do this, you'll feel better. Of course, sometimes, some days you'll wake up and you'll feel worse than the day before. But it's your ability to this morning, I don't feel great, but by the end of the day, I want to make a little bit of progress. I want to learn something new. I want to challenge something about my mindset, about how I see the world, about my relationship with my ex. the relationship, the story I'm telling about my ex. And that will make you make the right decision going forward. Remember something very important. You are the most important person in your life. It's not your ex, it's not your mother. You are the most important person in your life. And when you reach this sort of inner peace, you will create outstanding results. Trust me, this is what I do with my clients every single day. And my clients, I'm not working with their ex, I'm working with them. But working with them creates outstanding results because you are the solution. Okay? They are the problem, you're the solution, and you will get there. If you like this video and want to watch more of these videos, don't hesitate to like and also subscribe. It does help me a lot. Take care of yourself and looking forward to reading your comments. Bye.
Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.